And then I'll do your introduction. Perfect. All right. Welcome everyone to the annual UCR. Oh, good. Welcome to the annual UCR Undergraduate Research and Creative Activities Symposium, track. Let me make sure I have it. Track 3. And this is CHAS Emerging Research. My name is Genesis Gonzalez, and I am the marketing manager here at Undergraduate Education at UCR. We are excited to hear all the great work from our scholars. I will introduce each scholar and their major before their presentation. They will each give, and I believe it is about a 10-minute talk, and have up to 3 to 5 minutes for a Q&A. Please feel free to type your questions in the chat feature, and I will ask them during the Q&A. Alternatively, you can save your question and ask it directly. We ask that the audience mute their audio and remain respectful during the full session. Speakers will unmute when it is their turn to present. Presenters, please stay in this breakout room until the session ends. I'd like to now present SeoHa Leem, she, her, hers pronouns, on the presentation title, Exploration into the Impact of Identity Related Memories on Self-Concept, Positivity, and Stability. Please take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm currently a fourth-year biology student at UCR, and today I'll be presenting on basically, we're trying to explore the impact of identity-related concept, positivity, and stability. Just to give a brief background first, let me go to the next slide. As a lot of us are probably familiar with the suppression and stigmatization of minority groups and how it creates divisions within our society, it becomes a very increasing need for us to investigate the different nuances of self-perception as it relates to our perceived identity to be able to impact that. And that's exactly what this study is doing. And the study is made comprehensive by doing 2 behavioral study sessions. To get into the aim, as you can imagine, the aim is to try and understand whether experiences related to one's identity can influence one's self-concept and stability. And I'll be providing more context about our objectives as we proceed with the presentation. Going into the study, 2 hypotheses were drawn. Our first hypothesis is that recalling negative identity-related memories, for example, experiences people might have had with stigma related to ethnicity, those will be associated with less positive trait self-descriptiveness. Our second hypothesis is that negative identity-related memories will negatively influence the stability of our self-esteem or perception, compared especially to recalling positive experiences. So they're both pretty self-explanatory. Essentially, they're stating that bad memories will be related more to negative trait self-concept and stability of that self-concept, especially when compared to when participants recall positive experiences. In terms of methodology, the first section is titled The Episodic Memory Generation, Relation, and Evaluation Task. This is basically when the participant comes into our lab. They're put into room B, where they're going to be on a computer and asked to provide up to 24 personally relevant memories. And essentially, these participants are rating the extent to which each memory caused other life experiences to occur. And participants also have to rate to what extent each memory caused other life experiences to occur. Additionally, they rate their memories on memory qualities, such as they ask the question, how much did this memory affect me? And what percent did it relate to another memory? And and that's the first section. And this basically is a prerequisite for a second session, which involves the magnetic resonance imaging, in which we're examining neural connections. And let me get into that session now. And the second session is called Autobiographical Memory Recall Tasks. And participants recall 24 of their life memories while their bold activity is recorded. And I know bold is jargon. Let me break that down really quick. It refers to the blood oxygenation level dependent imaging. And it's pretty standard technique used to generate images in magnetic resonance imaging or MRI, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, potentially going into the doctor, getting an MRI. And basically, participants are prompted to press a button to indicate the start and end of the cue. They're given 8 to 10 seconds for the first part, and then there's a 14-second cued recall, 2 to 4 seconds before they're asked to rate the memory on different qualities, such as valence, as you can see in the diagram here. And all the while they're in the MRI and their neural connections and activity is being investigated or recorded. So this is a pretty handy diagram. I'm going to be relating this to which brain region this potentially might light up. But as you can see, most of the arrows are pointing towards first time driving home from university. And that indicates that it's the most inward connection because there's the most arrows going to that one. And you can see it has a square. And the grandma passing away has the most arrows going out of it, so it has the most outward connections, which is out degree. And that's just the premise of out degree versus in degree. And let me now go into how this relates to our different brain regions. So why is that relevant? So if there are more out degree then in degree, then this essentially predicts greater functional activity between the midline core and the MTL subsystems. So basically, the MTL subsystem is referring to the medial temporal lobe, which serves as the primary brain region responsible for the generation of new episodic memories, which is prompted in the first session. And it is also postulated to have an important role in the retrieval of old memories, a greater in degree centigrade versus a less out degree centigrade indicates greater functional activity between MPFC and MTL subsystems. And as you can see in the key here, the MPFC is just the dorsal medial prefrontal cortex, which governs attention, inhibitory control, habit formation, and working, spatial or long-term memory. In terms of future direction, this study could basically inform future functional magnetic resonance imaging, in which the different neural connections are investigated and seen how those relate to when they recall those ethnically related or identity related memories, whether they be positive or negative. And this would inform understanding of the relationship between themselves and their ethnic identity. It doesn't even have to be ethnic. It can be their sexual identity, gender identity, whatever else they choose to identify or associate with, that can be seen potentially in the MRI, and that's what we're trying to study. But our focus is here, the suppressed and stigmatized groups. And we can also get a better understanding of the abnormality as it relates to the neural networks, which is very interesting. And I know there's a potential application for multiple personality disorder because it has a lot to do with memory. And basically what multiple personality disorder is, it's a disorder that involves switching to other identities. So people with this may feel as if they have two or more people talking or living inside their head. And being able to investigate how those episodic memories they put into the study relate to their neural activations in their brain, we can investigate those connections more deeply and examine how that can be applied to disorders like multiple personality disorder to see if we can ascertain a treatment plan and alleviate their symptoms. And And I just wanted to give acknowledgements to my graduate student, Jennifer Mosley, Dr. Brent Hughes, my faculty mentor, and the other people on the Memory Maps team who made this project a reality. And this is an emerging project, so we don't have concrete results, but we're bringing in as many participants as we can in order for us to reach our objective to examine the neural connections related to ethnically related identities. And that's the presentation. I'll go ahead and stop recording.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, thank you for your time and the presentation that you just shared. We'd like to open it up